everybody, this is Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another book review. I just recently finished A Monster Calls, which will be a movie this coming year. I do believe it's going to be in the winter, and it's very appropriate. And I'm not going to say why, but you've got a young boy, Connor O'Malley, and he lives with his mother, and his father is in America, married to another woman. And you've got this yew tree monster that comes walking and seeks him out, and he wants the truth. But he wants Connor's truth. And first of all, Connor's not afraid. But later on, you can see that trepidation begin to build, and understandably so. But I'm not going to say why, because if I do, it'll ruin the whole book. But it is a very short book. And Patrick Ness was the one who took it over from Siobhan Dowd, who had breast cancer. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to finish it, so Patrick finished it. I think that Patrick did an excellent job with the tale, and it'll make you cry. Just forewarning, if you've ever dealt with the loss of somebody close to you. Yeah. Or like a pet or a parent, or even a grandparent. It doesn't matter. Any kind of loss of someone like that who means a great deal to you and you love dearly, it's a very difficult process. And of course, I'm going through this myself, so I know what it's like. But thankfully, there are outreaches for people who are kind of dreading the holidays like I am. I mean, I hate to say that. I really shouldn't, because I love the holidays. They're my favorite time of the year, but this year without mom and dad, it's a little bit more difficult. But back to the story. And this would have been Siobhan's 5th book. I like the quote at the beginning. You're only young once, they say, but it doesn't go on for a long time. More years than you can bear. Sometimes. I mean, I don't... That's kind of a pessimistic look at it. But I'm actually going to, read the first chapter, because the first chapter is what really pulls you into it. The monster showed up just after midnight, as they do. Connor was awake when it came. He'd had a nightmare. Well, not a nightmare. The nightmare. The one he'd been having a lot lately. The one with the darkness and the wind and the screaming. The one with the hands slipping from his grasp no matter how hard he tried to hold on. The one that always ended with, "Go away," Connor whispered into the darkness of his bedroom, trying to push the nightmare back, not to let it follow him into the world of waking. Go away now. He glanced over at the clock his mom had put on his bedside table. 12:07. Actually, that's important too. 7 minutes past midnight, which was certainly late for a school night, late for a Sunday. He'd told no one about the nightmare. Not his mom, obviously, but no one else either. Not his dad in their fortnightly or so phone call, and definitely not his grandma, and no one at school. Absolutely not. What had happened in the nightmare was something no one else needed to know. Connor blinked groggily at his room, then he frowned. There was something he was missing. He sat up in his bed, waking up a bit more. The nightmare was slipping from him, but there was something he couldn't put his finger on. Something different. Something... He listened, straining against the silence, but all he could hear was the quiet house around him, the occasional tick from the empty downstairs, or a rustle of bedding from his mom's room next door. Nothing. And then something. Something he realized was the thing that had woken him. Someone was calling his name. Connor. He felt a rush of panic, his guts twisting. Had it followed him? Had it somehow stepped out of the nightmare and... Don't be stupid, he told himself. You're too old for monsters. And he was. He turned 13 just last month. Monsters were for babies. Monsters were for bedwetters. Monsters were for... Connor. There it was again. Connor swallowed. It had been an unusually warm October, and his window was still open. Maybe the curtains shushing each other in the small breeze could have sounded like, Connor. All right, it wasn't the wind. It was definitely a voice, but not one he recognized. It wasn't his mother's, that was for sure. It wasn't a woman's voice at all. And he wondered for a crazy moment how... Wait, he wondered for a crazy moment if his dad had somehow made a surprise trip from America and had arrived too late to phone in. Connor. No, not his dad. This voice had a quality to it, a monstrous quality, wild and untamed. Then he heard a heavy creak of wood outside, as something gigantic was stepping across a timber floor. He didn't want to go and look. But at the same time, a part of him wanted to look, more than anything. Wide awake now, he pushed back the covers, got out of bed, and went over to the window. Yeah, I'm not going to read more, but... yeah, I like how the monster actually says, you know, you're not afraid of anything, are you? Well, you will be at the end. But it's just such a incredible story. It's just sensationally written, and it holds your attention, and you're just wrapped in the heart aching quality of it. And it's actually, strangely enough, there is hope. And it is uplifting, but you feel the anguish that he feels and the pain and the isolation, and yeah, I can relate, but I'm really looking forward to the movie now because I have to see how they portray the yew tree, and I love the fact that they make the monster as old as time, and he's attached to every living creature. He is the world, basically. He is the predator and the prey, and all life, basically. I'm thinking he's time as well, because he embodies so many different concepts. He's just massive, and rightfully so. But that's all I had to say about A Monster Calls. It's just a splendid book, and completely resplendent in the way it's written, and I loved every minute of it, even though the ending kind of made me a little bit teary-eyed. But that's it. I shall see you next time. Ciao tutti. Live long, prosper.